there, Paul from Paul Marks and Co, Chartered Accountants here. Now, a question we get asked a lot from our clients or potential clients is, should I buy a property individually or should I buy it through a limited company? Now, that's a very complicated question, and it really depends mainly on whether you're a higher rate taxpayer or a basic rate taxpayer. In 2020, the government brought in something called Section 24, which means that if you're an individual, you don't get the full tax relief on mortgage interest anymore. You only get a 20% tax credit. Whereas if you're a limited company, you get the company gets full tax relief on the mortgage interest. So if you're a high rate taxpayer, it can make a big difference where that property's owned. But there are other considerations that you need to think about, like what do you intend to do in the future, and maybe you won't always be a higher rate taxpayer. Each individual case has to be calculated, individually to find out what the optimal solution is. I mean, you have to remember there are lots of taxes to consider, and below we do a comparison. We show a comparison of the basics between a limited company and owning it individually. You've got to consider corporation tax, income tax, and whether you're a higher rate taxpayer or a basic rate taxpayer, potential capital gains tax, and also stamp duty. So it's not a simple answer. The other question we often get asked is if an individual owns a property, can I transfer that property into a limited company? Usually, in most cases, that doesn't make sense. It's usually more cost prohibitive to do it, but sometimes it does make sense. And again, a sort of an individual calculation has to be made. Anyway, below is a pretty comprehensive article that goes through the basics. But if you need help before you buy any property, whether it's individual or a limited company, you really need to seek professional help to find out what the best or most optimal solution would be. Because once you've done it, it's difficult to change. There are costs to change from transferring. Anyway, thanks very much for listening. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.